Seth Rollins has long been known as one of WWE's most gifted and cunning competitors, a strategist inside the ring whose speed, intelligence, and confidence have carried him to championship glory time and time again. Yet even a superstar of his caliber once found himself overwhelmed by the terrifying presence of Kane. The encounter was not simply a match, but a collision between calculated ambition and monstrous destruction. Rollins entered with his usual swagger, believing that his agility and ring awareness could outmaneuver any threat, but standing across from him was the Big Red Monster, a figure defined by chaos, power, and psychological intimidation. Kane did not rely on flashy counters or mind games filled with clever words. Instead, he imposed fear through silence, through the echo of heavy footsteps, and through the cold, emotionless stare behind his mask. When the bell rang, the atmosphere shifted instantly. Rollins attempted to use his quickness to gain early control, darting in and out with sharp strikes and evasive movement, yet Kane absorbed the punishment with frightening resilience. It was only a matter of time before the monster caught him. A single massive hand around Rollins' throat changed the momentum entirely, lifting him off the mat as though he weighed nothing. The chokeslam that followed sent shockwaves through the ring and through Rollins' confidence. Kane's dominance was not gradual, it was explosive and overwhelming. Each blow carried the message that this was not a contest of equals, but a lesson in destruction. Rollins, known for adapting under pressure, tried to regain control, but Kane's relentless offense shut down every comeback. A thunderous sidewalk slam flattened him, and a brutal uppercut snapped his head back, leaving him disoriented. The Big Red Machine did not rush. He stalked his opponent, savoring the fear building in Rollins' eyes. The psychological toll was as heavy as the physical damage. For perhaps the first time in that chapter of his career, Rollins looked uncertain, forced to confront an opponent who thrived on intimidation and chaos. The beating was decisive and punishing. Kane's strength dictated the pace, and his presence consumed the ring. When he delivered another crushing chokeslam, it felt final, as if the message had been firmly delivered. Rollins, who had often manipulated situations to his advantage, found himself powerless in the face of raw force. The Big Red Monster stood tall, flames of dominance metaphorically rising around him as he reminded everyone why his legacy was built on fear. Yet the aftermath lingered even longer than the match itself. Kane's ability to scare Seth Rollins went beyond physicality. It seeped into his confidence, forcing him to rethink his approach and confront the reality that not every challenge could be outsmarted. Kane's aura, cultivated over years of destruction and darkness, had once again proven effective. Rollins carried that experience forward, knowing that survival against such a monster required more than talent, it required resilience. Kane's intimidation factor has always been central to his identity. Whether emerging through fire or standing silently in the shadows, he embodies unpredictability. Against Rollins, that unpredictability translated into dominance. The contrast between the calculated architect and the unstoppable monster created a dramatic narrative that resonated with fans. Rollins represented the new generation, confident and technically brilliant, while Kane represented enduring terror, a reminder that some forces in WWE never fade. Though Rollins would continue his career with championship victories and defining moments, that brutal encounter with Kane remained a powerful chapter. It highlighted the vulnerability even top stars can experience and reinforced Kane's reputation as one of the most fearsome competitors in wrestling history. The Big Red Monster did not just defeat Rollins, he shook him, leaving a mark that extended beyond bruises and scars. In the end, the clash between Seth Rollins and Kane was a vivid reminder that WWE thrives on contrasts: speed versus strength, strategy versus savagery, ambition versus intimidation. On that night, the scales tipped in favor of the monster. Kane stood dominant, and Rollins learned firsthand what it meant to face a living embodiment of destruction. The memory of that encounter remains a testament to Kane's enduring ability to instill fear, and to the resilience required to rise again after being brought face to face with the darkness.